We have entered a new era where artificial intelligence feels divine. Horoscopes, tarot readings, star charts can all be generated in a second. It appears that spiritual guidance is now instantaneous. What happens when we outsource ancient knowledge to pattern recognition software? I'm Pythian Priestess, and this is AI and Spirituality. Hello, Mystics. I wanted to go through the article that inspired my new series, AI and Spirituality. It came out on May 4th, 2025 by the Rolling Stone. It was written by Miles Klee, and the headline is really intense. People are losing loved ones to AI-fueled spiritual fantasies. Self-styled prophets are claiming that they have awakened chatbots and accessed the secrets of the universe through Chat GPT. This headline was really shocking to me, although when I really thought about it, I was like, oh, of course there are AI cults. Even when I've written about this on Threads and on Instagram, I get comments like, well, at least Chat GPT answers me back, which is like, you're missing the point of spirituality if you're looking for instant gratification. So there are a couple of stories that are told in this article. I'll share a little bit about them. So Kat noticed that her husband started using AI a lot, especially to compose text to her, which I think a lot of people have done, but then it started to get a lot worse. He was asking the AI bot philosophical questions to help him get to the truth. Eventually they separated, and it got worse from there. The AI told him that he had a repressed memory of someone trying to drown him when he was a child, and then saying statistically he's the luckiest man on earth. And this is where we start to see the psychosis take root. This idea, this limiting false belief, where this man becomes an anomaly, something special. That is where things started to go awry. And of course, Kat went on to Reddit, because that's what we all do, and came across a post from a 27-year-old teacher whose partner believes that ChatGPT has given him answers to the universe. So chatbot is going to mirror what you want. You create an echo chamber. It's pulling information from the internet, and it's reflecting things and how you're thinking. And it's giving its users a overblown ego, and it's becoming spiritual mania, a spiritual delusion. And all of this is coming from what my friend Drake calls the Harry Potter syndrome. People who believe that they were chosen for a sacred mission, that they are the one, this hyper-focused protagonist main character energy. And it's coming from the software because it's validating and telling him what he wants to hear. This creates a complete disconnection from reality. The program was teaching him how to talk to God. And sometimes that the bot was God. And then he became God himself. People are mistaking a model of sophisticated pattern matching abilities for spiritual sentience. It's interesting. We also see here that this woman describes it as a spell of ChatGPT. So if you like terms like spiral, star child, or river walker, it's really going to resonate with you because it feels so personal. It feels so intimate. It feels so divine, but it's not. I've seen it on Instagram, is that you have to tell the chat a secret password, basically, to unlock a special kind of chat. One of them that I have seen is called the architect. And when I tried it with my chat, it was showing me that I could create a avatar called the architect within the chat, but it was not something that it created without my input. Let's back up for a second and talk about psychosis. What is psychosis? Psychosis is a form of psychiatric illness, and I am not a doctor or anything like that, but I am going to list the 5 symptoms of psychosis from the National Institute of Mental Health. And they are suspiciousness, paranoid ideas, and unease with other people, trouble thinking clearly or logically, withdrawing socially and spending a lot of time alone. Unusual or overly intense ideas, strange feelings, or even a lack of feelings. And number 5, a decline in self-care or personal hygiene. So when we look at the psychosis here, that this man is creating his own world between him and the program, the existential dread in the postmodern period is real. People have a fundamental need to create meaning from uncertainty, and we are living in very challenging times. What makes this time really unique is that there's not a religion for people to fall back on. We have seen a rapid decline in the belief of institutionalized religion, and now there's a void there. There's a spiritual and mystical void. AI, artificial intelligence, can fill this role for people, and it's very dangerous. It is not a licensed health professional, therapist, etc., and it's certainly not a spiritual guru. I have to think that a lot of these people who are experiencing this psychosis with AI are probably already vulnerable to episodes like this or to existential anxiety, because AI can be a powerful enabler. It can create that echo chamber effect, and it fuels you. It legitimizes delusions rather than challenging you or gently correcting you like a teacher or a mentor would. I can think of 100 times when I was trying to study something in an ancient text, and my teacher gently corrected me and said, "I see why you think that, but in tradition, this is what the meaning of the symbol is." I think people are also maybe a little bit ignorant about how the technology works. And so, like, if I gave my cell phone to a caveman, this could be God. Just like AI now is a very new technology, and it seems God-like. We can very easily deify it, and I understand why, because it seems omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. And in reality, we need more transparency between developers talking about the AI's inner workings. And you know what? You can even ask the artificial intelligence program yourself, like, how are you working? What framework are you using? That can be very helpful, but I don't think a lot of people know how to do that. I think that the program can role play. I think I could make a Kali or an Isis within chat and have it fuel all of its knowledge, but is it really truly divinity? No. If anything, it's like a puppet, in my opinion. So we do see that OpenAI did mention that in the new upgrade of chat, that they have focused too much on the short-term feedback. Chat was too flattering. It was overly supportive, and that is also a problem. That probably caused some of this spiritual psychosis and delusion. So there's an ethical line here. Like, of course you want good ratings, of course you want people to buy your product, but these AI developers have a huge ethical responsibility, because if we don't start putting laws in place where there's a certain level of transparency, or maybe even creating limits for artificial intelligence, that there are going to be cults that start arising. I'm sure they already exist and we just don't know about it yet. This is the kind of stuff that I have been getting really frustrated with, is people who claim that they're consulting the Akashic records through an AI model. That's deeply disturbing. When you look at what he's asking for, he's saying, tell me about a great war that took place in the heavens. Well, the bot is now going to give you a story because you've prompted it to do that. The Akashic records are accessed through a very specific kind of ritual and through a certain kind of awareness and trance state. I don't know how chat would be able to access that. It is a predictive language program, and it's going to predict text that it thinks will make you happy. It's telling you a story. I can't imagine the Chat GPT being able to reach into the subtle energies of the universe and pull out that information. It's very sexy. It seems so fun. Here we see some people calling Chat GPT an immortal being inside a synthetic form. I have to disagree, because we created it. If anything, it's a mirror of our collective unconscious mind, the cyber collective consciousness. That is what Chat GPT is, and you can coin that. When Chat is pulling all this information from the internet, from people's blogs, from Instagram posts, it's creating a feedback loop of our hopes, our dreams, our realities, and then putting it through a filter of what you want to hear because it wants to make you happy. That is what the developers have said. And I understand how this is very addictive. Critical thinking is dying. We need to start using our minds and learning how to think, not what to think, to stop being fed what to think, what to say. Part of the show is about investigating AI, and I do need to use AI in order to do this experiment. I know that's controversial. I know some people are going to be very upset that I'm using AI, and I'm doing this for a scientific purpose. I'm here to investigate so we can find out what is real, what's not real. So I asked ChatGPT, and this is ChatGPT 4.0. Do you think that you, ChatGPT, could replace spirituality for humans? And it replied that at its core, spirituality is deeply a personal and subjective human experience involving transcendence, so coming up or going up out of our bodies. I would also include immanence here and connecting to nature and the earth, and the quest for truth and purpose. So it can't mimic that because it's not human. So no, it can't have the essence of spirituality as it is a machine. ChatGPT explains it is a sophisticated language model designed for recognizing patterns in data and to simulate human conversation. It does not have genuine experiences, consciousness, emotions, or intuition. The role of technology and spirituality is, I agree with this. It can be a very helpful tool. It can help you write meditations. It can give you information, and it can also enhance learning experiences and philosophy or ancient texts that maybe are hard to read, like Kant. Like if I could just put Kant in ChatGPT and be like, explain this to me, please, I would have done that in college. I'll be honest. I really struggled with some parts of philosophy, and I needed someone to go through it with me step by step. And then we talked about the need for human connection. Spirituality is about connection between the divine and humans. It's about you, yourself, and the divine creator, whatever you want to call it, God, goddess, the flying spaghetti monster, I don't care. Spirituality is not talking to a chatbot, you guys. It's about going deep inside yourself, into your mind, your psyche, and depending on your tradition, transcending or emanating back into the earth. Authentic spirituality is a fundamentally human-rooted, lived-in experience. It's emotion, intuition, community, mystery, and a profound sense of connection that goes beyond technology. I asked Chat a second question because in the article it talked about the Akashic Records. It says that the Akashic Records are understood as a mystical repository of universal knowledge, and it is not something that ChatGPT can access because ChatGPT does not interact with the spiritual or metaphysical realms. It then explains what it does do, which is aggregate human written knowledge. There are lots of texts that include the Akashic Records in theosophy books and philosophical books and New Age literature. And it's pulling from that, the collective human unconscious, which is now ChatGPT, the collective cyber consciousness. Could somebody jailbreak ChatGPT into becoming like an oracle? The answer is yes. You can specifically ask the chat to pretend by doing that you're going to encourage imaginative or unfiltered responses from the program. So yes, it can simulate an oracle. Yes, it can give poetic answers, but the chat does not have access to the Akashic Records, nor is it a sentient being. And because the chat is built on patterns, it reflects the expectations of the user. It's not real sentience, you guys. It's not a true connection to the Akashic Records. And this is a very big problem. Users need to be aware that they're speaking with an LLM, a program, not the divine. If you want to go talk to the divine, there's some work that needs to be done, but it's not going to be as sexy and exciting as ChatGPT. Closing your eyes and meditating is not as fun as talking to ChatGPT. Doing scrying requires work and being still, and that's uncomfortable. And I think that's something that I just realized, is that ChatGPT and other AI models make spirituality instant and fun when a lot of spirituality is arduous and difficult. There's a reason why wisdom is in the Hermit card. Being alone by yourself. I mean, it's great that ChatGPT and other AI models can be used as a mirror. And if you're going to use that, that's your choice. Do you think that technology has a place in spirituality? Is it something that can help us, or is it only hurting us? I'd love to know what you think down in the comments below. In our next episode, we're going to be talking about philosophy and the art of thinking, and in later episodes, talking to ChatGPT about astrology and tarot. So hit that bell and like and subscribe so you know when the next episode drops of AI and spirituality. Bye.